Hey guys, it's Pancho. Oh, well, it's Pancho. And we're talking about, he's going to last about 10 seconds. We're talking about Chapter 2 from Harry Potter and the Sorcerer's Stone. Chapter 2 was called The Vanishing Glass. Before we talk about Chapter 2, you need to know about some new things I put on my website. I took your advice and I went on and I put all of the class notes from our interactive notebooks on the website. So now right next to the YouTube videos is going to be the in-progress notes from our interactive notebook. So you're going to have everything that you need about motifs, choice, the number 3, and Harry's scar. It's going to be all listed right there for you in a Word document, just like your book report document. So everything from here is going to be posted on the website. Okay, so a recap of Chapter 1 was that Dumbledore, Professor McGonagall, and Hagrid dropped Harry off at his aunt and uncle. His aunt and uncle are terrible. They never wanted to meet Harry. They never met Harry. They got Harry, unwillingly. He was dropped off literally on our doorstep. So we wake up in Chapter 2. It's 10 years into the future. So Harry's 10 years old and Dudley's 10 years old. They say that there's a ton of pictures of Dudley throughout the house and all these things that Dudley gets, and Harry has absolutely nothing in the house to show that he even lives there. No pictures of him, nothing of Harry. They say that Aunt Petunia woke him up by saying, "Get up, make bacon for Dudley's birthday." She goes to Harry's room 3 times. It's not really a room. It's a cupboard under the stairs. So think about like a pantry, like a really small section under the stairs of the hallway. That's where Harry sleeps at night. And she woke him up only to get him to make breakfast for Dudley for his birthday. We get a description of Harry on page 20. Harry says the only thing that he likes about his own appearance was a very thin scar on his forehead that was shaped like a bolt of lightning. He had it as long as he could remember, and the first question he could ever remember asking his Aunt Petunia was how he had gotten it. In the car crash where your parents died, and don't ask questions. She didn't want him to ask questions because he would realize there's no way I could have gotten this scar in a car crash, which would have led him to believe other things about his parents. He would have found out the truth. So Dudley gets downstairs for his birthday, and he counts all the presents, and he has 36 presents. And he's like, "That's 2 less than I had last year. I want 2 more." And his mommy's like, "Okay, Dudleykins, okay, it's okay. I'll get you 2 more presents." And he's like, "Good, so that way I'll have..." and he can't count. And so we realize that he's incredibly stupid. Then they get a phone call saying that their babysitter for Harry, Mrs. Figgs, broke her leg. And now nobody can take Harry and watch him. So Harry is, stuck. He can't go with the Dursleys because the Dursleys don't want to take him. He can't go with Mrs. Figg. Marge, this lady named Marge, she hates Harry. They say that right in front of Harry. She hates the boy. Marge won't take him, and then Aunt Petunia's only friend is out of town. So no one can watch Harry, which means Harry has to go with them on Dudley's birthday adventure, which was to the zoo. Dudley has a full-blown tantrum. "I don't want Harry to come." A full-blown meltdown. And he stops immediately because his best friend, Pierce, gets there. They go to the zoo together. And Uncle Vernon warns Harry, if you do anything funny at the zoo, you're gonna be in the cupboard until Christmas. And the narrator kind of takes us on a little bit of backstory where Harry just makes all of these weird things happen. Harry has very disheveled hair, which is a word that here means all over the place. It's never neat and tidy. And he constantly has messy hair. It says one time Aunt Petunia took him to the barber's. When they got home from the barber's, it was already kind of all over the place again. So she took kitchen shears, which are kitchen scissors made for cutting meat, and just butchered his head and made him almost bald. Just cut strands of hair out, but left only his bangs so that you wouldn't see the hideous scar. And then Harry was mortified. He didn't want to go to school the next day. When he woke up for school, his hair grew back overnight. And Aunt Petunia punished him. And he's like, "I have no idea how this even happened." Then you have, she was trying to put Harry in one of Dudley's old sweaters, and it wouldn't fit him. It fit, she said, the size of a hand puppet, And then we have another example of Harry making something funny happen because Dudley and Dudley's friends were chasing Harry around the schoolyard to bully Harry. And he was running away from him, and he popped up on the roof of the school. So there was, like, all of these just really weird things happen to Harry whenever he's in, like, trouble or danger. Weird things just happen that seem to work out for him. So he's like, I never control these things, they just happen to me, which again shows our motif of choice in that Harry doesn't choose for these things to happen, they just simply happen to him. We get to the zoo, it's Dudley, his bestie, and then you have Harry, and his parents, Dudley's parents, Uncle Vernon and Aunt Petunia, buy Dudley and Pierce chocolate ice creams from this, like, ice cream truck. And then they start to, walk away. They don't get anything for Harry, but the lady in the ice cream truck is like, do you want anything? And they can't not get Harry something at this point. They can't show to other people just how abusive they are toward Harry. So they're like, he can have a lemon ice pop, which was just, like, the cheapest of all the things just to get the lady off their back so it didn't look like they were as abusive as they are to Harry. They go to the zoo. Let's see. They go to the zoo. They're looking at all this stuff. It says that Dudley already got bored, like, by lunchtime. He was already sick and tired of looking at these animals. They ordered Dudley a birthday sundae. And it says that the sundae didn't come with enough ice cream, so Dudley threw a fit, and they gave the scraps of the first sundae to Harry, and Dudley got a brand new sundae with extra ice cream. So the whole day was just about Dudley. They treated Harry terribly, but Harry's like, not a bad day. I got some ice cream. It was pretty good. And then the last part of their trip to the zoo goes to the reptile house. And they're looking at all the snakes, and they want to see the pythons and the cobras. And so they're in the reptile room, and they see this python. And Dudley's banging on the glass like, move! And the snake is just lying there. So then Harry slumps up after Dudley and is like, if I'm bored, this guy's really got to be bored. At least I can walk around the Dursleys' house. He just sits here. And then the snake comes up and makes eye contact with Harry. And Harry just kind of looks around and is like, sorry about him. And the snake is like, I get that all the time. And so Harry's like, okay, the snake is, like, talking. I was just thinking that I felt bad for the snake, and now the snake is like, what are you going to do? Being all sassy. And Harry said, it must be really annoying. And then he asked the snake, where are you from? Which is just odd that Harry's, like, so open to having a conversation with the snake. And the snake shows Harry a sign with its tail, like, pointing to the fact that he was bred in captivity. And so he's never been to Brazil. And Harry's like, oh, I'm sorry, you've never been to Brazil. And then all of a sudden, Pierce, Dudley's friend, sees the snake moving, and he's like, come look at the snake! And he has a total meltdown and starts screaming about the snake. And then Dudley, it says waddles, so think of a penguin, just because that's the size of Dudley. He just waddles over to where the snake is, and he punches Harry in the ribs to get Harry to move. And this causes Harry to fall to the ground. And then before you know it, the glass to where the snake was is gone. And the snake gets out of its container and starts sliding around on the ground. And it says that the snake whispers to Harry, here I come, Brazil, thanks amigo, and then leaves. And obviously, you can kind of figure out that Harry did it. Uncle Vernon and Aunt Petunia are very, like, well aware of the fact that Harry probably has something to do with this, but they don't say that to anybody, because remember, they want everyone to think that they're very, very normal. And then they all get back in the car to head home, and it's Dudley's friend that says, Harry, weren't you talking to the snake? And this, of course, just sets Uncle Vernon off. And the example that I gave in class is, like, when you're hanging out with a friend and you do something to make your mom mad, and your mom, like, you know your mom's mad at you, and you don't want your friend to leave because you know you're going to be in a heck of a lot of trouble, because you know she's already mad. And it was the same thing. Like, as soon as the Dursleys realized that Harry did something to show that he was, like, being abnormal, by the time they got home, Uncle Vernon was so angry with Harry, he said, go, cupboard, stay, no meals. And so they just stopped feeding Harry. They were so mad at Harry. Harry could have blown their cover of normalcy. Harry was in a lot of trouble. So then it just says, the chapter ends with Harry daydreaming about wishing he had, like, relatives that were going to come and save him from the Dursleys, because it says that Harry lived with the Dursleys for 10 miserable years, and it says that he had often dreamed of relatives coming to save him so that he didn't have to live there anymore. And there's that sense of choice where he didn't choose to live with the Dursleys, but Harry does say that he'll be out in public sometimes and people will bow to him or wave at him. And when Harry goes to turn to, like, look at these people that are, like, saying hello to him on the street, they vanished. So you get the sense that because, like it said in chapter 1, everyone in the world will know who Harry is, that Harry passes people that know who he is and they're saying hello to him. But Harry never gets confirmation about that happening. So Harry just feels completely alone. He doesn't have anyone at school because Dudley bullies him. And so we just leave chapter 2 in this very depressing tone. And then the book states that 3 people say hi to Harry in public that he doesn't know. So again, you get that reoccurring theme of 3. It was under 16 minutes. I did it. Thor, come here. Thor, come here. Say bye. Say bye. Okay. 1, 2, 3. Say bye. If you have any questions, my email is in the description. He's looking for the cat. My email's in the description. And I will see you guys for chapter 3, which is the letters from no one. If you have any questions, shoot me an email, and I'll see you tomorrow.